Hi, my name's Shiori. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I grew up with my parents and my sister, and we had a really good childhood where everything was very easy and open, and we could just be ourselves and we could communicate anything with our parents and our family. I think that that's really helped me know how to ask for help when I need it, and know what my wants and needs are and communicate with people. I have a lot of hobbies. I like knitting and I like playing music, and I think that that really shows the artsy, more creative side of who I am. I also sport. Sport has been a huge part of my life. I'm a diver. I like doing flips into the water, but there have been both positives and negatives that have come with that. The negatives being that in sport you're really striving for perfection, and I am a perfectionist, which sometimes harms me in the way I compare myself to others or think that I'm not quite good enough, because I haven't done what other people have done yet. But everyone's journey is different, and I just have to remind myself of that. I also think that you're really taught to push through everything, so I think that that's push through everything, to be the best, to make sure you're on top, you're not behind the competition. I think that that's hindered my communication a little bit, because I don't want to say like, no, I can't do this today, this is too hard, and I think that that's kind of, I never wanted to be a nuisance to my coach. I wanted to be the perfect student, do everything right for her, and I think that that kind of bled a little bit into my other relationships as well, like not wanting to say no to things. So that's something I'm really working on. Like, it's okay to put yourself first, you don't have to put other people first. The big positives that have come out of my sport is, well, firstly, responsibility. I mean, it really teaches you how to stay accountable. Going to practice every day, making sure I'm on top of things, because my parents wouldn't let me go to sport if I hadn't done my homework. School always had to come first. And also, that's how I came to the US. It was to follow my sporting dream, and I think that's been a huge part in my journey. I think that also, coming to the US, that has affected my communication in some ways, because there's just cultural differences. For example, in Australia we have a thing called tall poppy syndrome, and that is pretty much just it pretty much means that nobody really likes success, and so we don't talk about it so much. You'll notice there's a lot of double negatives in how Australians talk. For example, if I did a really good dive, I wouldn't come up and say, oh my god, that was such a good dive, yay, go me. I would say, oh, that wasn't bad, or oh, yeah, I could have done it worse. So which I think is it's interesting, because in the States here, people would be like, oh, that was a good dive, and they're happy for the success, and they're happy for the success of others. It doesn't seem as threatening as it does in Australia. So there are a few little cultural differences that I think have affected who I am, and the way I communicate. But anyway, that's me.